Happy New Year. What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my crypto journey live stream. My voice is gone, as you can tell. We're starting off the stream with our voice cracking. Do me a favor, slap that like button before we get started. No pun intended. That's a bad joke. I get it. And this is bad. This is really, really bad. We'll talk about the main story, of course, and that's Dana White hitting his wife on camera. Now, it doesn't matter that it's on camera, right? It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The fact is, he hit her. And it's so much different when something crazy like this happens and there's video to it, because you could say what you want. You can come out and say, oh, someone else saw that, and they describe the situation. You just don't know what's going down. But when you see the video, it just makes things way different. As some sort of kind of a same scenario. Remember Ray Rice? I think he played for the Ravens. Like, he got an altercation with his wife. Apparently, he hit her in the elevator. The video didn't come out, and the league had to they let him play. But when the video came out, even though you're innocent until proven guilty, in a court of law or however they hashed it out, when the video came out, of course, he got cut everywhere, right? Absolutely insane. I don't know what's going on with that guy now, but this is crazy. So do me a favor, slap that like button, push us up in the old algae. And yes, I was MIA yesterday, but I needed a day to recover, and I really didn't feel like being on the internet at all. But it's so good to see you guys. It's so good to be back and see you guys. And of course, the top stories of the day are Dana White and that incident, because he does have a lot of cryptocurrency partners. Remember, Crypto.com and VeChain are some of the biggest partners of the USC. We'll get into that right now. And of course, we have the IRS maybe partnering with cryptocurrency companies in order to fight crime. And of course, Sam Bankman Fried is going to plead innocent. And we got a little bit of an insight on how he probably posted that bail, since a lot of people are wondering how the hell he posted that bail. But first, let's say hi to the chat, babies. What's up, Steve? How you doing? What's up, Jay Hawk? What's up, Javi? How you doing? What's up, Lawrence? How you doing? Shout out to the Volt fam. So good to see you, Javi. So good to see all you guys in the chat. Adrian, Bud Yeti, Gabe. What's up, babies? OG, Crypto High, Dylan, Racket Club. What's up, baby? What's up, Jason? How you doing? Thanks for the text and reaching out yesterday. What's up, Chrissy? Probably, Chris. What's up, FI Design? How you doing? Aaron, how you doing, bro? Yes, smash the button and sub. Let's go. Smash that like button, baby. Push us up in the old algorithm. What's up, Wadi? How you doing? Yes, Kenny Block did die too. Yes, he did. Yes, Terrarium sold another 142 ETH. That's crazy. Hopefully, someone can remind me of that at the end of the stream. And we're going to go ahead and double up the giveaway. So the crypto giveaway, we're going to double up next Monday. So we'll do 2 winners next Monday, since we missed yesterday. So we'll have 2 winners this next coming Monday for members. And all you have to do is be a member of the channel to be entered to win $50 in cryptocurrency. First, how was your guys' New Year's? I know you saw mine was absolutely bananas. Like yesterday, all I wanted to do, first of all, and if you guys are watching this a little later, the show starts at 5 minutes. But first of all, yesterday, I mean, I didn't go to bed till like maybe 4 or 5, something like that. So I slept till like 3 p.m. and I just watched Lord of the Rings yesterday and ate a bunch of terrible food. That's what I did. I sat on my butt, ate a bunch of terrible food, which my go-to has been Chinese food lately. I've been like really fiending China. Something about Chinese food just bops, right? And you get a ton of it for a cheap price. And I watched the second Lord of the Rings extended, the 2 Towers. So really into that right now. I'm going to finish the 3rd one today. But how are you guys' New Year's? You guys have a fantastic New Year's? Let me know. What's up, House of Crypto? How you doing? Yes, smash that like button, guys. Yes. It's so good to see you guys. Yeah, no? So we're going to try some new things out for the channel. I've been plotting and scheming a little bit. And I think the direction we're going to go is just going to be news. I think we'll do some hype videos here and there. But I like the crypto news, And we'll do some shorts. So I have to figure out how I'm going to do that. I don't like TikTok. I think I'm just going to stick all to YouTube. I have a feeling TikTok's not going to be around for much longer. So we'll do shorts and stuff like that, like a crypto minute or something like that. And then I'll take partnerships and those sort of things. But I think that's the direction of the channel. That's where it should go. Definitely for news, because the news is just good. We stream mostly on this channel anyways. We're like a live streamer. So yes, Lord of the Rings is fantastic. What's up, Cool and Chris? Thank you for reaching out to me too, bro. I appreciate it. Jason and Cool and Chris reached out to me yesterday. Like, dude, are you live? Barely. And of course, I'm probably sick. Yes, Happy New Year's. Of course, no B, of course. SC DTLS, you got 20K Crow coin. Well, this partnership with Crypto.com could be in danger, and probably they could cut their ties to the UFC. Let's talk about it, right? This is kind of crazy, man. Okay, What's up, Soap God? How you doing, baby? I see Soap God working, baby. All right, let's talk about the issue at hand, which is Dana White caught on camera slapping his wife. We're going to watch the video real quick because I think you guys should see this, right? It was hard for me to watch, but we got to check this out. So I guess they're arguing or something at a club. I don't know what kind of camera this is, but you can see her hit him, and then he just hits her a bunch of times. So she's crying for something right there. Let me turn the music off. So she pops him right there. See, she bops him, and then he hits her, right? So he bops her pretty hard, and then he keeps hitting her. That's what it looks like, and he like pushes her down and stuff, and all kinds of crazy shit, right? Nutty. And this is the guy who's obviously the CEO of the UFC, right? He pretty much brought that company from nothing to where it is now, which is an incredible story of when you think of him being an entrepreneur. But this is absolutely sick, right? This is absolutely sick. And I believe they're replaying, and he has people around him like telling him to calm down and stuff like that. That's what it looks like from here. Of course, it's a TMZ video. Hopefully they don't take it down and wreck me for it, but it's absolutely insane, right? Absolutely insane. And he went on TMZ and actually talked about it. Now, I'm going to play the video of him talking about it, and then we're going to go ahead and react to it because he's making excuses for it. But here's the thing. There's no excuse for that. Now, I see some comments saying that he hit her first. She hit him first. Guys, why do you think we have different leagues for sports? Why don't you think women and men integrate for the WNBA? Why do you think that? Why do you think there's men's tennis and women's tennis? Physically, the majority of us are superior when it comes to just physical things, right? Sports, we're just stronger, we're faster, we're bigger. So, a hit from her, and a hit from Dana White, it's two different things. And yes, she shouldn't have put his hands on him. That's domestic violence too. Don't forget, when a woman hits a man, that's still domestic violence, obviously. But he smoked her and kept hitting her. You don't do those sorts of things, right? Yeah, it's like that's why we have different divisions. You know what I mean? Let the activists say what they want. Oh, women's soccer, man, women's basketball. It's like, dude, here's the thing. You know what I mean? That we have different divisions because of that. That's why you don't see men fighting women in UFC, because it'd be a wreck. You know what I mean? Yes, and the first rule of life is don't put your hands on somebody, right? So she putting her hands on him is wrong, and him smoking her is also wrong. But this is the same guy who came out, right? This is the same guy who came out and publicly pretty much put down another UFC fighter who got in trouble for beating his. Look at this. Watch this. Dana White speaks out against domestic abuse. Forgot the fighter. It was Mike Perry. So Mike Perry and a few other people. So Dana White came out and said, in his first public comment, Dana White said, let's see. So I'm trying to find the video, but okay, let me see. I heard about it. What Dana said, training one of the judges. Okay, so maybe he didn't put a statement on Mike Perry's, but there was another UFC fighter. He was an ex-football player, and he got in trouble for hitting his wife, and he was saying, hitting his girlfriend. Dana White came out and said there's no excuse for doing that, right? So it's like, you can't just smoke your wife like that on camera, especially when you came out saying it. Of course, because it's wrong. So let's hear what he has to say. We're going to listen to just the audio because I don't want TMZ to come and steal my soul.
Dana, why don't you just tell us what happened that night? What happened leading up to that video?
Well, I'm in Cabo, Mexico, for the holidays with my family. And my wife and I were out Saturday night on New Year's Eve. And, unfortunately, that's what happened. I'm
going to turn it down a little bit. So she's going to watch. She's going to bop him, bam! And he just fucking slaps the shit out of her. And then he pushes her down. He hits her again. He's like holding her down. Like, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's hear a statement.
You've heard me say for years, there's never, ever an excuse for a guy to put his hands on a woman.
There it is.
And now here I am on TMZ talking about it. But
I mean, he said it right there, right? There's never, ever an excuse. This is his own words that you should ever hit a woman. Now, obviously, if it's a life and death situation, if there's a gun or a knife, then obviously you have to do what you do, right? But his wife bopped him in the face, and he's the one who said it. There's never an excuse, right? Let's continue.
My wife and I have been married for almost 30 years. We've known each other since we were 12 years old. We've obviously been through some shit together, and we've got 3 kids. And, this is one of those situations that's, horrible. I'm embarrassed, but it's also one of those situations that is, right now we're more concerned about our kids. We have 3 kids, and, obviously since the video popped up, we've shown the kids the video, and we're more focused on our family right now. People are going to have opinions on this, and most of the people's opinions would be right, and especially in my case, you don't put your hands on a woman ever. My wife and I obviously love each other. We've been together for a very long time. We've known each other since we were very little, and this is just one of those unfortunate situations.
You were at a place in Cabo that where alcohol flows.
Yeah, I mean, Dana, what we were told by people who were in the club, that it, at least to them, seemed that there was a lot of alcohol involved in this situation.
There was definitely a lot of alcohol involved, but that's no excuse. I literally am making no excuses for this thing at all.
So the crazy thing about this is, this is nutty, right? This is absolutely nutty. I'm seeing some of the comments in here. What's up, fan? How you doing? What's up, Hayes, dude? How you doing? Good to have you guys all in here. The thing is, like, he said that there's no excuse for it, that this is the only time it's happened. But guys, they've been married for 30 years. Do you really think this is the only time this has happened? Like, really? Do you guys really think that? Like, really? No, come on now. It's the first time you got caught, right?
It's never happened before.
What's up,
It's the
Echoes?
first time that it's ever happened, and people are going to say what they're going to say. It's just is what it is, and whatever people do say, it's deserved. I deserve it. It happened. I don't know why it happened, and my wife and I have apologized to each other. We've apologized to our kids, and this is one of those things that everybody's going to chime in. I could care less what anybody else thinks about this. Right now, what we're more concerned about are our kids and taking care of our family.
In the video that we've seen, it seems like this.
Now, this is crazy, right? The thing about Dana White is, like, and I see Echoes' comments saying, Echoes is saying you can't hit somebody and expect nothing in return. Okay, you guys out there with your girlfriends, if your wife or girlfriend slapped you in the face, would you hit her back in the face? Would you hit your wife back in the face or your girlfriend back in the face? If your girlfriend slapped you, and it's not that it's like he's the one who's come out like championing, because there's been UFC fighters who have been in trouble for this sort of thing, and he called it despicable. He denounces it, all those sorts of things. That's true. That is true. Echoes from above. I mean, sometimes, but the optics are bad, right? There's a reason why, there's different divisions and those sorts of things. If it's a woman, like a stranger on the street, I get it. I mean, this is why we have different opinions. I get it, but it's crazy, right? It's crazy.
What started and was over in less than a minute, is that haven't seen any video beyond that. Is it fair to say that this ended? How did this situation end?
That was the beginning of it and the end of it, and we're still on vacation. Everything. You're talking about somebody who is, her and I have known each other since we were 12 years old, and we've been married for almost 30 years. So, we're obviously best friends. She's my wife, and we had too much to drink, and whatever happened that night happened. But yeah, that was it, and it was done.
Dana, the final thing, you say whatever happened that night happened. Do you remember it?
No, I don't remember a lot. So
bullshit.
No.
What's crazy to me? Like, you have those friends that say, I just blacked out. I don't remember. I just blacked out. I mean, come on now. You know what I mean? Come on now. You know what I mean? First, we got a 8th month member. We have Professor 2 Crypto. Says, Happy New Year, LFG. Thank you for being a member for 8 months. I appreciate you. I love to see those memberships. And he's a super degenerate. Thank you so much, Professor 2 Crypto. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. 8 months. Wow, wow, wow. Love y'all. Love y'all. I mean, you just have those friends that say, "Oh, I mean, I don't remember." It's like, okay. You know, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. And I get it. Everyone is different. Everyone's different, but you know, it is what it is, right? Everyone's different, but you say there's no excuse for that. You come out like you're acting like this guy, you know. I suppose it'd be different. He came out and said, "Well, she hit me and I hit her back." That was my response. That was my reaction. Yeah, but he's coming out like on his high horse and he's called out other UFC fighters for it. He's saying there's no excuse. I don't remember. We've been married for 30 years. This is the first time it happens. Just smells a little fishy. Matthew Mueller says is a degenerate for almost a year. Thank you so much. And we have Gabe for 11 months. Let's go. What are we doing for year memberships? Well, everyone wouldn't hit a membership all in 1 year, so I wouldn't be able to do something like a mass thing. But you definitely get a cool icon next to your name, and of course, I will celebrate you. So I'm switching to a different streaming viewer. I'm using YouTube now, so I can actually see the membership updates. Because on StreamYard, I can't see them, but StreamYard I use for my ads, so it's complicated. But anyways, you know, we're going to talk about how this relates to cryptocurrency very, very soon. Let's continue.
No, obviously this thing, it's one of those situations. It's embarrassing for both of us, but more importantly, what we're more concerned about are our kids. We're concerned about, listen, nobody knows you better than your kids know you. They grow up in your house with you. They see everything. They hear everything. They know everything. And everybody always asks me, questions about, well, do I care about this? Do I care about that? And my question is always the same. My legacy and all this other stuff with work doesn't mean anything to me. It's all about your family, It's about your wife and kids, and in this situation too. Like I'm saying, everybody's going to have an opinion. We're just worried about our family and focused on our kids right now.
So I put a poll up. Let me guys know. So what do you guys think? You guys think this is the first time Dana was hit his wife, or you think this is the first time he got caught? I put a poll up. Go ahead and vote. I'd like to know what you think. Crazy stuff. So we'll see what happens with this. Okay, so why is this important to cryptocurrency? What does it have to do with cryptocurrency? Well, usually when some sort of bad press like this happens, the people that have sponsors with some of their any sort of sponsorships, usually they drop them. Of course, we had most recently Kanye West come out and get absolutely murked by all of his sponsors, thinking he was too big to fail. Turns out when you call out, a certain race of people, your ass gets canceled. So Kanye West, got all sponsorship drops. Now I wonder, will other companies start disassociating themselves from the UFC? That's interesting, right? Because of course the two biggest cryptocurrency products are Crypto.com and of course VeChain, right? So Crypto.com signed a deal in 2021. Now, this wasn't the best deal for a lot of UFC fighters. A lot of people didn't really like these new sponsorship deals the UFC was taking. Why? Because it took away from the actual fighter. Now, if you guys didn't know, back in the day, UFC fighters used to pretty much deal with sponsorships on their own, right? They didn't have to go to the UFC. Maybe some of them had to get, obviously a stamp of approval from the at UFC. But UFC fighters pretty much controlled who sponsored them. They could put any logo they want on their shorts, which made, it very lucrative for the fighter. But since then, UFC signed multiple deals, like with Reebok, like with Crypto.com, like with VeChain and many other sponsors, Modelo, right? That they're only for the UFC and only UFC fighters can use those sponsors. Like we see UFC fighters sponsored by so many sort of cryptocurrency projects, but they don't talk about them in the ring because it's against the UFC rules for them to promote other projects that are not, strictly partners with the UFC. Will UFC lose a lot of their partnerships? Very, very interesting. So UFC is still the fastest growing sport, right? And it's not even close. It's worldwide. The cool thing about UFC is that it's almost every week, it seems like, right? They're really growing. And it's good to see, improvements in the sports. But now their CEO is caught in a lot of this bad, now a lot of bad publicity, Very, very interesting. Now, I personally don't think that this will affect them at all, but it's going to be interesting to see. Now, Dana White pretty much brought this company. Of course, he had investors, right? But his work ethic, the way he handles his business, the way he's handled fighters. I mean, this is a rough industry. You're dealing with people that want to go beat the crap out of each other pretty much, right? You're dealing with a lot of like high testosterone dominant guys who are probably a lot of troublemakers, right? So as Dana White, you have to be pretty ruthless. And through the years, he's done a good job managing this company. And then they were able to sell it for $4 billion in the last, I think, 5 or 6 years. So, of course, ownership was shared, and a lot of people own the UFC. Dana White doesn't directly own the UFC, and Chris pointed that out. But it's about association. Dana White is the face of the UFC. It doesn't matter who owns it. Dana White is the face of it. He is that guy, right? Dana White is the guy. He does all the press conferences. He's at every fight. He's at their show called what's that show called? The Contender Series, right? Where they go and fight on local local scenes, and they offer contracts to good fighters. And he's part of everything. This man doesn't stop working, it seems like. So he's very associated with this project. We'll see what happens, but I honestly don't think that they will terminate any sponsorships. It's just still a bad look for the UFC. So, of course, Cronos looking like dog water this year. Of course, all cryptos are, right? Really bad. And, of course, VeChain is down as well. But that's most cryptocurrencies, right? We saw them peak last year. And they're down. So VeChain, I believe, is just layer one, and then Crypto.com, obviously one of the biggest sponsors. One of the biggest UFC sponsors, and of course sponsor the World Cup. And Crypto.com is one of the biggest and most trusted cryptocurrency exchanges in the United States. A lot of people use them. I know a lot of people like Cronos has a huge cult following. So we'll see what happens, but they might pretty much say, we're not going to cut our ties because Dana White isn't the owner of the UFC. He's just the face of it, you could say. So kind of crazy to see that on New Year's. But, I don't believe personally that, this is the first time it's happened. I don't believe that. And I don't believe he doesn't remember. I think that's stupid. I mean, how many times have you guys been truly blacked out in your life? And he did not look blacked out is like, you're like sloppy. Like you can't even move. Like you can't even like move your body. Like that's the only time I've ever had like gaps in like my memory when it comes to, quote unquote blacking out. I think so many people use that as an excuse to do some heinous shit and then say, oh, not heinous, but maybe embarrassing stuff, and say, oh, I don't remember. I was drunk, To me, it's kind of corny. Give me a second. Let me take off my sweater, but let me know and put another poll up. Will UFC sponsors drop them? Will UFC sponsors drop them? What do you think? Let me know. Be right back. Oh, damn, it's hot as hell. Yeah, I didn't think so either. Let me see. Jayhawk says, swing on me and I'm beating your ass. These hands are rated E for everyone. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people hey, look at, if you get hit in the face, your first reaction is to swing back. Now, a little bit of story here. I'll get personal with you guys a little bit. So I remember when I was like 22 and I was living with my ex-girlfriend at the time. And she's crazy, right? She got really jealous that I went out with my friends. It was something super innocent. And I came home. Check this out, bro. Check this out. First of all, she broke my bong. What? She threw my Super Nintendo on the ground. Yep, all my games. And a bunch of my belongings were just ruined. And then I get home and she slaps me, like in the chest, like a lot. And like the only thing I could do, this could be a commercial for OtterBox. You'll see what I mean. Remember those phone cases? So I get so mad, I didn't know what to do. So I pick up her phone and I yeet it at the wall, but it had an OtterBox. I threw it as hard as I could. It had an OtterBox case on it, and it was okay. Now that out of nowhere, someone should have said OtterBox, stronger than domestic abuse or something like that. That's not funny. I get it. I'm trying to be happy here. You know what I mean? But that's crazy, right? That's crazy. That's the only thing I could do at the time. I just took her phone and just yeeted it at the wall, and nothing happened to it. She was mad because I was hanging out with my friends. So I've been in situations where you get the urge to, but you gotta, and I was drunk too, but you get the urge to, but you gotta just not do that. Because, she can pat me all she wants. Me hitting her, I'm going to smoke her, right? And I know, equal rights and lefts, I get it, but still, it's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy to me. All right, let's move on from this story. Let's move on from this story. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I know a lot of you guys think that, just to absolutely send it, but I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. I just think that the strength gap is like people talk a lot of shit and say equal rights and we should, should all the same league. And no. There's a reason why we're separated in sports. It's because we're stronger and bigger and faster in every way. Sorry, sucks to suck. You know what I mean? It's just like that. All right. So the IRS sees crypto companies as potential crime fighting partners. Is the IRS getting together with crypto companies? Oh, what? That's kind of crazy, right? Isn't that a little crazy? Isn't that a little crazy? What's up, Justin Matt? How you doing? That's kind of crazy, right? So check this out. Top officials in the IRS law enforcement arm said the agency wants to build ties with digital assets sectors. Now, this is what this means to me. The IRS, not to fight crime, but they're going to go under the guise of fighting crime, right? Because, a lot of people have said cryptocurrency is dangerous because of the Silk Road. And I mean, that's true. People were buying illegal things like drugs and other things on the Silk Road. And of course, the founder of the Silk Road who created it, I think he got 2 consecutive life sentences. So that's crazy, right? Because there's a lot of crime being committed on it. But, to me, the reason why the IRS wants to partner with cryptocurrency companies is because they want that information. Now, keep in mind, these exchanges will sell your information to the government. They do get paid to do those sorts of things because the IRS, if you're making money from cryptocurrency, I think they want to tax this. I don't think this has really anything to do with fighting crime. I guess the only crime we're talking about here is tax evasion. But let's read this and see exactly what he said. So, quote, cryptocurrency is here to stay. So that's a good quote coming from, someone in the IRS because it shows that, okay, cryptocurrency isn't really going anywhere. So cryptocurrency is here to stay. A top Internal Revenue Service law enforcement said, and the tax collection agency wants to partner with the industry to fight financial crime. So maybe mostly tax evasion, right? The IRS Criminal Investigation Division is bringing on hundreds of new agents this year, including many who will be directed to work on digital assets and cybercrime, said Thomas Foturoso, the special agent in charge of the IRS CI New York field office. Now, keep in mind that a lot of people said, oh, the IRS is hiring thousands of new members or agents. But guys, keep in mind that they're also, a lot of, government agents are retiring, right? And I heard this quote from Clear Value Tax. He's like, no one, works for like the IRS and says, you know what, forget retirement. I want to stay here and do my job. No, they're probably tired. They probably want to do other things, right? They probably want to do other things. They probably don't want to work for the IRS anymore. And a good point was, when you hire these new IRS agents, it takes them a while to become seasoned veterans. And so who are they going to go after? The people that can defend themselves or the people that can't defend themselves? Well, people that can defend themselves have more money. And of course, people that really can't are like lower middle class or even upper middle class, right? Because getting audited is a nightmare, I hear. So, and I'm probably expected to get audited or, a lot of crypto people are probably going to get audited in the future. So it says, in the alphabet soup of federal law enforcement agencies, IRS-CI hasn't attracted as much attention as its counterpart at the Federal Bureau of Investigation or Drug Enforcement Administration. Now, of course, the FBI is in a lot of hot water because of the whole Twitter thing, and the DEA. A lot of people think, some way about the DEA. The war on drugs is crazy, right? It says, but the 102-year-old law enforcement arm of the IRS, whose agents are sometimes affectionately referred to as accountants with guns, which is hilarious, right? And a lot of people make this point, like, why do IRS agents need guns? It says, is one of the top U.S. financial crime enforcers handling cases from money laundering to Russia sanctions. It has also turned its eye to cryptocurrency as one of the several federal agencies trying to grapple with the burgeoning industry. Mr. Foturoso, who spoke with the Wall Street Journal Risk and Compliance Journal, said, IRS-CI, which often competes with the flush crypto sector for talent, welcomes the revolving door, the shuffling of talent between government and industries as a way to foster ties. Responses have been edited for clarity and length. So the Wall Street Journal says, how do you view digital assets? Are you willing to work with these companies? Mr. Foturoso says, we can't be hostile to the technology. We have to embrace it. And I like hearing that, right? It's like, dude, we can't fight it. We got to just embrace it and find a way to regulate it. It says cryptocurrency is here to stay as far as I'm concerned. It isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and it's becoming more legitimate as the years roll on. It becomes more sophisticated. My thoughts is that those relationships will develop as the years go on and as the companies become more comfortable with dealing with the federal government. I don't see how we can operate in the space without it. So the Wall Street Journal asks, are you getting a level of cooperation and partnerships from cryptocurrency companies that you would like? And Mr. Forterusso says that's something that we're always working towards. I can't say whether we're receiving that or not, but that's always the end goal, to have those partnerships and have relationships that isn't contentious, more of a symbiotic relationship. So when he talks about this, I can imagine that the US based companies are obviously complying with anything the IRS wants. But maybe some of the, different exchanges, right, or different cryptocurrency projects are probably not, dealing with the IRS or even the US government at all. Like, for example, products like Terrarium, right? Terrarium can only operate it can operate in the India and UAE, right? It's not operating in the United States. So obviously, projects like Terrarium or smaller ones or ones that don't operate in the United States are not going to be complying with, our law enforcement. Not yet. It says it helps with them with their legitimacy. So that's a good point, right? Because it is true. A lot of people do trust Coinbase because, it operates in the United States and they deem them as legitimate, right? That's a big deal when people talk about Coinbase. People say, "Oh, it's legitimate. They're operating out of the United States." Very interesting. He says, "This is a new industry for everybody. I think we're still trying to feel our way around it. The companies are feeling their way around it, right?" So this is true, right? It's a new industry. And although crypto's been around for a while now, right? A little more than 10 years, it's still a brand new industry. The Wall Street Journal says the digital asset space has some areas that are highly technical. Do you have the talent you need? And this is so huge, so huge, so huge. And this is why we need to embrace crypto. And I think this is why the government will, because we want people that are good in the blockchain, because the blockchain is going to be technology we're going to have for years to come. We need people that want to study this, right? And in those people that want to study it, we need to keep them here. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of foreigners come to the United States either just for school or to stay here because of how great the education system is. And although it's expensive and a little broken, right? A lot of people come from out of country to study here, right? And we want to keep the people learning that are interested in blockchain technology. In my opinion, we need to keep them here. And they're going to be used for agencies like this. Like, people that study blockchain technology are going to work for the SEC, are going to work for the IRS, right? And like I said, although we may think that we have the upper hand when it comes to anonymity in the crypto space, I do think that in the background, there are people really paying attention and trying to understand DeFi, right? It says, Mr. Forterusso says, we've been very fortunate, especially in the last couple of years. We're on a hiring push right now. So we're hiring several hundred agents a year and sending them to the academy with the hopes that they come out and they become part of the team and the finest financial investigator. So I don't know if this means that they're adding crypto courses or have a little branch. It says, but a lot of them have a technical background. Okay, they're younger. They grew up in a technology world, more so than me. For example, we didn't grow up in that world. Sometimes it's hard to compete with private companies, but there are those out there that want to dedicate their life to service, that want to combat fraud, that want to do law enforcement work. Now, I guess, but the thing about these independent companies is that they probably pay way more than the IRS, right? Which is hilarious. They probably do, right? Working for the government usually, and like you being an independent contractor, I'm sure you make way more money. So it says we've been very good about hiring data scientists in the CI in the last few years, which is brand new for us. On the topic of competing with the private sector, certain federal agencies have been known to have a revolving door where talented people come to work for them, then join the private sector. Is that happening in your agency? Interesting. Mr. Forterusso says, we're starting to see that more often now, especially with cyber. Especially with cyber. I don't know what that means. We are starting to see that more often now, especially with cyber. Okay. It says, we've had several of our cyber agents and manager go to private companies. I get it. So just like I was saying before, so a lot of the people that would work for the IRS probably went to private companies because they're probably getting paid way more. It says, we are finding those partnerships to be beneficial because they understand what we need from a law enforcement agent aspect to investigate cybercrime. And they can help us in that area. And now we have to open flow or dialogue we didn't have before because we didn't have a contact there. That's awesome. It says they'll go out to the private sector and they'll come back to the government and back out to the private sector. Nothing wrong with that at all. They're gaining experience and they're bringing that experience wherever they go. And if they bring it back to us in law enforcement or they help us when they're on the private side, that only helps us. So that's pretty cool, right? So what they're saying is that they're bouncing in between, the law enforcement side and the private company. So we'll see how this pans out. It's going to be very, very interesting. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about the IRS getting so involved in crypto? Now, I knew this was going to come. Obviously, this was going to come. Look, at the government wants their money, right? And I have a feeling that the reason why they're starting to monitor, because you guys just remembered, right? Remember, like they just put out that thing that apparently, they're going to be monitoring all transactions from like Venmo or Cash App or anything like that are $600 or more. They don't want you receiving any money that's not taxed, right? Because the US wants their tax. It applies to cryptocurrency. Right now, if you're using a DeFi wallet, it's all about the honor system. Because what I don't know if this happens. So obviously your cryptocurrency exchange reports your information to the IRS, right? Obviously, your gains, your losses, all that good stuff, right? There's different apps that let you monitor that, like Coin Tracker, and that's all happening in the exchange. That's why you give your birthday, your social security number, you take a picture of yourself, you KYC yourself on a cryptocurrency exchange, right? It's an exchange. Now, exchanges have been under a lot of fire lately because when they go down, most people don't get their money back. But on the flip side, if you have a MetaMask wallet or a Coinbase wallet, well, it's on you, like the honor system, to report accurately your gains and your losses. Now, a lot of people are probably not going to do that, whether they have too many wallets, they just didn't write down the numbers, or whatever it is. It's hard to keep track of those sorts of things, but the onus is on you to do so. Now, in order to cash out your crypto for fiat, you usually have to send it to an exchange. Now, I wonder, say, for example, you send $1,000 or you buy, say you use your MetaMask wallet to buy $1,000 in Ethereum and you invested that in a cryptocurrency project and it made you 100K, right? Obviously, you have to pay the 30-something% capital gains tax, right? So roughly $30,000. Now, if you made that $1,000, right, and it 100x in a cryptocurrency DeFi wallet that has no connection to your social security number or name, so no one knows it's you, but that money is sent to an exchange and cashed out right there, does the IRS know where that money came from? And can the exchanges share the information that was sent from a DeFi wallet to their hot wallet? That's very interesting to me. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. It's going to be kind of crazy to see how they manage this, but this is one of those things where the United States is like, we got to get with it or we got to like, we're going to get left behind. So the USA is trying to do anything they can, right? To do anything they can to get a hold on cryptocurrency. And I do think we're years away, guys, maybe like 3-4 years away from like actual full regulation. I just don't see us getting there or getting where we need to be anytime soon. There's too many things happening right now that the U.S. Needs to focus on, right? What do you guys think? Let me read some of these comments. What's up, Awesome? How you doing, baby? What's up, baby? Let's see. What's up, Roger? How you doing? Let me see. Yes, do me a favor, slap that like, but we have 59 likes. Let's get to 69 likes. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Austin is on one. Yeah, Austin is on one. But they have no value. They will continue to fall after the you either become a blockchain or get the fuck out. I mean, I do think blockchains are kind of, I mean, everybody and their mom has a blockchain, so I know. Let me see. IRS doesn't need to hire all those people. They just need to hire CoffeeZilla. CoffeeZilla has a team, though, right? CoffeeZilla has a team. Matthew says, I don't like it when people do business without being a real business. I'm okay with the IRS enforcing some things. I mean, that's the whole thing with the SEC, right? Is that a lot of these cryptocurrency and a lot of Bitcoin maxis, like a lot of crazy Bitcoin maximalists, they say these things. They're like a lot of these a lot of these cryptocurrency companies, right? A lot of these token companies are literally companies that want, to get their pre-sale, right? They want their pre-sale to be available to everyone. Sorry, Saitama, but they want to operate out of another country, which is like, I don't know if you can do that, but the cryptocurrency is not regulated, so you can get away with a lot right now. Let's see. What's up, Cool Cat? How you doing, baby? Yeah, they're saying they need more snitches. Well, the thing is, like, they're going to get people who are like, who love cryptocurrency, and they're going to want to work for them, right? Skywalker needs to work for the DOJ. Yeah, that'd be interesting, right? Yeah, Skywalker's an actual animal. He's a beast. Osm says, but they have no value. They will all continue to fall after their initial hype. All of them, you either become a blockchain or get the fuck out. I don't think so. I mean, there's a lot of products that are not just blockchains, right? I mean, they make some as part of their utility, right? Like, some of the exchanges. Crazy. Blockchains will be the commodity. No, I don't think so. No, it's like, there's an argument for like, crypto.com and, Binance being securities. And the argument is pretty clear. And they both have blockchains too. It's like, well, what if you have a blockchain and a bunch of other things, right? Because of course, Binance owns a lot of different things. It is a lot of different things. And it's an exchange, right? Trust Wallet, Coin Market Cap, they own that. They own other sites, right? Of course, they started off as an ERC20 token. Now they're a blockchain. So, I think that if it's not a store of value, if it's not specifically a store of value, right? A store of value, then it's not a commodity. It can't be. If it's not just a store of value, I mean, that'd be interesting. So we just saw recently BMW out of Thailand, right? Not BMW as a whole company out of Thailand is going to use the BNB chain to do certain things on the blockchain. And see how it works, right? When it comes to, I believe it's a lot of like accounting, like account records keeping, those sorts of things. And then some sort of like program is going to be run on the blockchain for their members, the BMW members. So we'll see how it goes in Thailand. But, this is a good start, right? To see how that testing goes. And maybe if it goes well, they'll move it to other parts of the world and then make it, company wide. Of course, any transition for anybody, like especially with blockchain technology, it's going to be massive, right? And it's going to be a long process, like the internet, right? When a lot of people were using, emails and all sorts of things and record keeping on computers, like there was a lot of like crazy shit. Remember back in the day? Remember like the "I love you" virus or something like that? It was like it was a email people would get from like a secret admirer, and when you would open it, it would like spread to like all your contacts and like wreck all your files. Like there was a lot of like, and of course there are viruses like that today, right? But they're not as crazy as they were back in the day. And of course, when it comes to, anything, being used and mass adopted, then they're going to have a lot of like, a lot of tough times, right? In the beginning. I mean, yeah. I mean, Renaissance Connect, there's an argument for that. It's headed to the digital currency age. Look at the government's making CBDCs. That's like, oh, we're going to make our own crypto, right? And then what about Fed now? Remember that I think the biggest, and Kevin O'Leary talks about it, although he hasn't been, liked by the public too much. It's just easier to send large amounts of money within a wallet. It's just easier. There's no like middleman, no intermediary. I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to sign anything. I don't have to call anybody, right? It's not the most secure, right? Especially if you don't, if you accidentally send a large amount of money to the wrong address. But if you mind your business, right? If you're careful with what you do with your DeFi wallet, it's completely safe, right? Completely safe. And we have a new member, Renaissance Kinetic. Welcome to the Degenerates. You are a super degenerate. Thank you so much. That eggplant was oh so nice next to your name, baby. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Renaissance. And I believe you just became a member again. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Renaissance. That is a flex. That is a flex. That is the only benefit, right? To the $10 one is a flex. So thank you so much. 18 kids and went to jail for the I love you virus. It came out of the Philippines, right? Or something like that, Ken? It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, ETH and Polygon are securities. Look, if I'm just being honest, they're securities, right? They're securities. Yes, we'll talk about the terrarium situation at the end. I don't want to make them the same. Yeah, but they sold another 142 ETH, which is crazy, right? This is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Hopefully they're doing what they say they're doing. If they're doing what they say they're doing and selling shares, right? Shares of the company, like, you know what I mean? To fund things like Elon Musk and Tesla, right? Then that's okay. Because, I mean, I don't know how much money these guys had. I don't know how rich they were before, but I do know that they didn't go and talk about that sort of thing on record and brag about it like Russ did. Like, oh, we pay for everything out of pocket, blah, 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 So I don't really get too mad at him. Okay. So that's the IRS and the cryptocurrency part. Let me go ahead and mark this down. 44.20. What do you guys think? You guys think this is good or bad? I don't know. Part of me likes this move because, I think that this shows that we want to do some sort of mass adoption. Just got to be honest with your crypto taxes, right? Or be as accurate as you possibly can. If you have, $1 million in your get deposit in your bank account, Uncle Sam's going to be like, oh, yo, where did you get that? Where did you get that? You know what I mean? You got to explain to Uncle Sam, right? You got $1 million deposit from Coinbase in your bank account, right? Like I'll be asking some questions, right? Yo, where'd you get? I don't know. Someone sent it to me. All right. Now the Sam Bankman-Fried SBF saga continues, guys. This is crazy. So check this out. We know that Caroline Ellison and Gary Wang. Right. So check this out. FTX co-founder Gary Wang and former Alameda Research co-CEO Caroline Ellison both plead guilty to federal charges in the Southern District of New York. So we know that they pled guilty. And a lot of people thought Sam Bankman-Fried would plead guilty, but I didn't think that. Why? I didn't think that because this is one of those things that if he gets found guilty, he is going to jail for a long time. Right? He's going to jail for a long time. So might as well fight it. It's better, right? It's better than nothing, right? Or not trying to. Now, he got conspiracy charges because other people said they're conspiring, right, to do some real illegal shit. Okay, so before we get into him not pleading guilty, a lot of people are wondering how the hell he was able to post 10% of $250 million bond. Crazy. So this is the backstory. It says how Sam Bankman-Fried negotiated his way out of jail. It says intense legal wrangling led to the disgraced crypto mogul paying virtually nothing to live with his parents ahead of his upcoming trial. He returns to court on Tuesday. So that's an allegation that this guy's on the internet playing video games, making trades still, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. After he just wrecked a lot of people. This guy, it's like, it's hard to watch this guy fly first class home, right? Had a little charcuterie board, you know what I mean? On an airplane, talking with his friends at his parents' home, probably playing video games all day on the internet. Free, right? Free as a bird after a lot of people got wrecked from the fall of FTX. And his old coworkers both pled guilty, right? So the truth about Bankman-Fried's historic bail deal. Andrew here. Happy New Year and welcome, blah, 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 blah. It says, one storyline we'll be following, of course, is the saga of Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. It says the follow crypto mogul is scheduled to be in court in New York on Tuesday, where he is expected to plead not guilty. We'll bring you the behind-the-scenes details in Wednesday's newsletter. But one question that came up over the holidays, perhaps even at your own gathering, was why was Mr. Bankman-Fried granted bail, allowing him to stay out of prison and live with his parents? And live at his parents' home before his trial. It was especially puzzling because his bail was set at $250 million. And he told me at the Deal Book Summit that he only had $100,000 to his name. Now, a lot of us caught that too. It's like, whoa. This guy only had $100,000 to his name, and his parents posted their allegedly $4 million house as collateral. Where the heck did the rest of the money come from? It says, over the break, I spoke with many involved in Mr. Bankman-Fried's extradition from the Bahamas to the United States and with his bail arrangement. It's a fascinating story of deal-making and negotiation driven in large part by public perception. It says, first, it's worth explaining how bail actually works. It says, when a judge sets bail, the accused doesn't have to put up the entire amount to stay out of prison. The figure is instead what the accused would have to pay if he or she doesn't show up to court. Typically, the defendant posts bond, which is about 10% of bail. Though that's not a hard and fast rule, it says bond could also be provided as collateral or as cash and can be posted by others, including friends or a bail bond agent. Now, of course, this is what we were worrying. We were wondering about, like who posted the extra money for him? We know his parents put their house up, right? That was the collateral, right? Not cash, but collateral, right? It says for prosecutors, bail is meant to be a strong disincentive to flee, not to make a statement about justice. And this is important, right? It's like, hey, The reason why I think the main reason why he got bail, and they're going to go into the main reason why they think is that I don't think he's a flight risk. I don't think SBF is a flight risk. I do think that he has money hidden away in cold storage wallets, but I don't think he's a flight risk. Where the hell is this man going to go? This guy is famous. There's nowhere he is going to go, right? I mean, come on now. How can you possibly miss this guy? Even if he shaves his head, right? How could you possibly miss this guy walking around in cargo shorts, a backpack full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and an FTX shirt? I mean, come on now. You know what I mean? It says, in fact, the legal system would prefer defendants who aren't a danger to others to stay out of prison, reducing costs. Now, and it says the annual cost of detaining an inmate in New York City, for example, is over $500,000, which is kind of crazy, right? Now, a lot of people say the prison system is a big business. Now, it depends what you mean by danger to others, because is Sam Bankman-Fried going to go harm people physically? Probably not. I mean, look at him, right? But can he still do more harm online? That is the question. I don't know if you guys know, but there is a rumor that apparently he was one of the main developers of SushiSwap, which came under fire years ago because one of the devs drained a lot of liquidity from the project or something along that line. And he was accused of being the anonymous dev. Now, no one knows, but there's a lot of anonymity in crypto. He could be involved in other ways of hurting people. I mean, we don't know, right? So it depends what you mean by danger to others. Physically, no. But financially, I mean, obviously. It says Mr. Bankman-Fried had another point of leverage, and this is important. This is the reason why I think he got special treatment. It says U.S. prosecutors had wanted to extradite him from the Bahamas quickly to avoid both the perception of a slow-moving justice system and his getting hurt in the Bahamas jail before being moved to the United States. So it says if he had fought extradition, he would most likely have lost that fight, but it would have cost the U.S. time and money in return. He wanted to stay out of prison before the trial. So we knew that he could have dragged out the extradition process from the Bahamas. He could have denied it. He could have fought it. Now, I thought that he wanted to get extradited because he wanted to get out of the Bahamian prison. Apparently, they didn't have vegan food. Apparently, they were mistreating him, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. And I can't imagine the locals in the Bahamas are too happy with this guy. So I thought that he ended up getting extradited quicker so he could go get away from the Bahamas. Now, another theory is that the reason why he was extradited so quick was because maybe they made this deal. Hey, I'll come back to the United States. We don't have to fight anything, but I want bail before my trial. Yeah, I want to be free before my trial. That could have been something they worked with. Now, I think that it's a combination of everything, right? Everything. His parents are powerful people. Rules for thee, not for me. He knows a lot of really influential people. And let me tell you, heads are going to roll, right? A lot of people are going to get in trouble for being involved with Sam Bankman-Fried. We'll see who it is, but it's a combination of everything, in my opinion. So it says the Justice Department and Mr. Bankman-Fried's lawyers ultimately negotiated over how to extradite him in exchange for letting him stay out of prison without posing a huge bond. Given his lack of funds, so while prosecutors could herald a $250 million bail, one of the highest in history, he was ultimately released on something closer to his own recognizance. It says, which is also a standard arrangement. Prosecutors did demand that his parents post their home as collateral and co-sign the bail deal, expecting that Mr. Bankman-Fried wouldn't want to hurt his family. It says, of course, many FTX customers remain furious about this arrangement. Given how many poor defendants are stuck in prison, what do you think? Let us know. And of course, I think it is rules for thee, not for me, obviously, right? So shout out to, I believe it was who wrote this article. I don't see his name, but it's New York Times. Shout out to this person who wrote this article. A very, very good article, kind of gives us some insight on what's going on. And yeah, I think that's obviously a bad case of rules for thee, not for me, right? And him being privileged and his status and his parents' status and the people he's involved with status, but it's also some deals they worked out, right? And yeah, I mean, if Sam Bankman-Fried flees, well, then his parents are going to be on the hook for that money. And of course, their life would be ruined. Now, a lot of people question, they're saying that his parents had some, and I haven't seen anything confirmed, but the rumors going around are that his parents are probably enjoying, right? They probably enjoyed some of the money he made and maybe stole and mismanaged, right? So maybe his parents were given money and those sort of things. So we'll have to see about that. I'm sure all that will be investigated, but very, very interesting. Now, we know that Sam Bankman-Fried is expected to plead not guilty in the FTX fraud case, and prosecutors won't be lenient. So we know, if you watch that press conference, a lot of people said the reason why they gathered SBF so quickly was because they didn't want him to talk about his connections to some political parties, right? And that makes sense. That makes sense. But that press conference, I mean, they looked serious, right? SEC, I mean, the whole alphabet soup of agencies, right? SEC, IRS, but CFTC, DOJ on that ass, boy, right? So it says Sam Bankman-Fried is expected to plead not guilty on Tuesday. And look it's like, would you plead guilty if you were facing all this time? It's like, I better just pretend like I'm innocent, right? Kind of crazy. It says initiating a legal back and forth that former federal prosecutors say is unlikely to result in a lenient deal from the Justice Department. So remember, if you don't take a plea deal, they're going to go harder. But our argument is he's going to be in jail for life either way. It says when the FTX founder is arraigned in federal court for fraud charges, he will appear in person to enter his not guilty plea. The Wall Street Journal first reported on Friday. In confirming the news, Bloomberg also pointed out that the move can provide his legal team more insight into prosecutors' evidence and more time to potentially negotiate a lighter sentence if he changes his plea to guilty. So I don't see any way he gets less than like a life sentence, right? Since Bankman Fried is facing 8 charges after his now bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange reportedly lost at least $8 billion of customer money. U.S. prosecutors have alleged he orchestrated a years-long scheme where he used FTX deposits for various investments and daily expenses at his trading firm, Alameda Research. The Justice Department is in a good position when it comes to the fraud case, former federal prosecutors Dania Perry told CNBC, noting that the former Alameda CEO Caroline Ellison and FTX co-founder Gary Wang have pleaded guilty. It says, behind the scenes, she believes negotiations have been underway for a possible deal, but prosecutors most likely have other cooperating witnesses lining up at the door. So we all know that a lot of people are coming out and dropping dimes on SBF. It says they have a mountain of paper evidence and, in fact, admissions by the defendant himself, added Perry, a former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. Now, what I think is going to hurt SBF's case, right, in all of this is the fact that he wouldn't stop running his damn mouth on everyone's Twitter live space. I wonder if that could be used for evidence. I mean, it has to be able to be, right? First of all, we have a 6-month celebration for Mizzy Matt. Thank you so much, Mizzy Matt, and congrats on your streaming adventure. Keep it going. Thank you so much for being a degenerate for 6 months. I love it, baby. He says, 6 months, baby. Let's go. Damn, I'm mad late. What'd I miss? You missed some of the story about the Dana White situation and the IRS situation, but now we're on the SBF. So it says, so they're not going to be in any particular rush, and they're not going to be welcoming of any sweetheart plea deal. So obviously they're gonna come for this guy. It says other former prosecutors have similarly cast doubts on Bankman-Fried's ability to secure a deal. Ian McGinley, who also previously served as a assistant U.S. attorney at the SDNY, told CoinDesk that winning leniency typically requires a defendant to present evidence against someone else. So snitch on someone else, right? But it's unclear if Bankman-Fried can point fingers at others. Now, we know that Bankman-Fried was, low-key throwing Caroline and Gary Wang under the bus, right? That's what he was doing, saying he didn't know what was going on, mostly Caroline. And she's like, you knew what was going on. And that's why Caroline and Gary, flew to New York and told him a little early, took a plea deal. It says the issue here is that he faces, The issue here is that he faces okay, this is a little grammatical error from what is this? Insider. So he faces FTX. The buck says pretty much just saying he's responsible for everything, right? The buck stops with him. And that's what John Ray was saying. So it's hard to see how he could cooperate at all, McGinley said. And if the case goes to trial, he has almost no chance of getting acquitted. Former Watergate prosecutor Nick Ackerman has said, well, that's actually a big deal. Former Watergate prosecutor. Bankman-Fried hasn't helped his cause either, especially while on a public apology tour after FTX liquidity crisis in early November. Instead of laying low and listen to his legal counsel, he spoke with an array of news outlets about the situation, right? Dude, he cannot keep his mouth shut. That's crazy. Then it says, I don't think I'll be arrested, Bankman-Fried said during an interview before he was detained. Famous last words. He said that, right? He said that. He even tweeted on Friday to deny moving tokens out of Alameda's crypto wallets shortly after being released on bail. So it says, A not guilty plea would mean the government continues its investigation, but Perry told CNBC that the prosecutors are only going to be digging in deeper. They've said they're really looking under every stone here. She added, that may not be the best move either. He's in a tough position. So this is kind of crazy, right? Now, if you're Sam Bankman-Fried, this is your Hail Mary, right? This is all you can do is pretend like you're innocent. But he's wrecked, bro. He's wrecked. Especially with all the different eyewitnesses and people that worked with him. Like, he's kind of screwed. Right? If we're keeping it a buck here, he's kind of screwed, right? He's kind of screwed. So kind of crazy for me. We'll see what happens with the FTX situation. The rabbit hole goes deeper. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he should plead guilty? What do you think? What's up, Dondo? How you doing? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It says, who cares if you're a millionaire? So he's not going to jail. Okay, so Michael says, he's not going to jail. Democrats don't do time. Biden's son is crackhead making foreign illegal deals. Nothing is happening to him. Yeah, that was pretty crazy, right? Dude, if you're Joe Biden and your son's like wearing a GoPro while banging hookers and doing coke, it's like, dude, can we stop? Can we put the GoPro down? Why do we got to record everything? You know? Matthew says they basically took everybody's money and got wrecked on shitcoins. Sir Better says guilty as fuck. Chris E says, didn't Bahamians say they froze 3.5 billion of assets? He said FTX US is solvent. Let's see how it unfolds. Yeah, so that's the theory, right? That's the theory, Chris E. So apparently the FTX.com, right, held, I think it was $3.5 million. The Bahamian government paused $3.5 million, I believe, in deposits into the FTX exchange. And remember, FTX.com went down. FTX US was fine until he filed for bankruptcy. Now, a lot of people are saying that he was forced into filing bankruptcy by John Ray, the ex-CEO, the new CEO of FTX, right, who's handling the bankruptcy situation, and the guy who handled the Enron situation. So, was it, did he encourage SBF or force him to file bankruptcy? It's like, I don't know. SBF seems like all over the place, right? He just, when you listen to him speak, I feel like CoffeeZilla trapped him in a lie, and then he's on these Twitter live spaces and just spilling his guts out, and it's kind of crazy. I just can't see him getting out of this. I can't see him getting out of it, even with the connections, No, trust me, SBF is going to jail. Yeah, I don't think you have a bail that much, but business. So who's leveraging long on Sol? You're degenerate. Yes, Solana, man. I think it's up like 17% today, right? It's up 18% today. I did buy the Solana dip. Now, like I said before, bad publicity can ruin a project, but it's running. It's running, Now, Solana's my fucking coaster followed my cup. Now, Solana is mostly used right now for NFTs. Like, they don't have a lot of, I think, other decentralized applications that are popular. A lot of people like minting Solana NFTs, right? And Solana was big. Solana was big during the last bull run. It was one of the biggest competitors to Ethereum. So this is interesting. What do you guys think about Solana? I bought the dip at like around $12. So I'm up a tiny bit right now. But I got kind of scared, the last month. This thing dumped all the way to what? $8? Yeah, it's kind of scary, right? Believe says I'm dying right now. Check your text messages. All right, hold on. Believes you texted me. Believes I got that same offer too. I got that same offer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if I don't know if you want me to mention that. If you want me to mention that. Yeah, I don't know if you want me to mention that, but yeah, I got the same offer. Believes it's crazy, right? This is crazy. So what is Crypto.com gonna do, right? Mizzy Matt says I finally started using Coinbase Wallet. Moved all my ETH. Good. Okay, I won't believe. But I got that same offer too, and I denied it. I didn't deny it. I told him to. Okay, I won't go into it right now, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Mitch Feature says Volt is a scam. Sir Brennan says in code. I can't spill it in code. I mean, you guys are going to get it right. You guys probably put 2 and 2 together. Renaissance says SBF will be found guilty because of mishandling customer funds, and I think that's what it was. That's a big thing, right? You can't use customer funds to do degenerate things. It's like you can't. It's like you can't borrow. You can't everyone entrusts you with their money, then you do risky plays with their money, and when everybody wants their money all at once, they can't get it, right? So you know. Renaissance Kinetic says, I unfortunately left my wallet without recent updates. I shifted due to global demand, tier lag, stock, lithium, cobalt mining, and gold mining. Okay, so you're in like metals, Renaissance? Hitoshi says, bro, the Crypto Zoo Logan Paul product went from $50 to like $280 for one of them eggs in a few days. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you when it comes to uh the degenerate plays, like literally people will buy the Crypto Zoo because CoffeeZilla's making a video about it. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's crazy. Biz says, Rodney, check how much money has been pulled out of BUSD. I did see that. I did see that, Biz. I saw you sent it to me yesterday. That's kind of crazy. This is why I don't trust any exchanges. Like I know, a lot of people like pay attention to that stuff, right? So this is the market cap of BUSD, right? Let's go check it out right here. So of course BUSD is Binance's stablecoin, right? Let's go to market cap. Market cap. Yeah, the market cap has been dropping significantly, right? We had how much? The middle of December, it was at a $22 billion market cap, and we're seeing it slowly dump. I mean, the market cap of BNB is down significantly. It's at $16 billion right now. That's a huge jump. That's $6 billion done like that. Wow, huge market cap. And this is why I don't trust. I don't trust any exchanges. Now, of course, if you go to this little tab here, I'm sure you guys can see this, but biggest crypto exchanges by volume, we could see how much money, or how much each cryptocurrency exchange would be exposed to BNB. Now, of course, Binance, obviously being, BNB being their stable coin or BUSD, you check their reserves, and we see that 20% of the reserves, the token allocation for Binance is in BUSD. So it is frightening to see that happening. Now, I'm not sure if this is a huge cause for concern, but this is very, very good information, Biz. It's like, this is why I don't trust any cryptocurrency exchanges. I know a lot of you guys do, and that's fine. I get it. I understand you guys. It's easier, right? But, if one of these cryptocurrency exchanges go down, I'm not saying that Binance is going to. I don't want to spread unnecessary fear. But if it does, guys, they're not a US. Binance US it's a whole different company, right? We know it for CZ, but Binance US is different, right? But you can't get every crypto on. You can't get a lot of the cryptos you can get on Binance US on Binance.com. They're just not available, and not even all 50 states can use Binance US, even though it's US. I don't trust these exchanges, right? Actual Binance, I believe, operates out of Dubai, or at least CZ is a resident of Dubai. Right? I don't trust any of that. I'll use them to buy crypto and to swap and to convert into fiat, but I'm not trusting anybody with my money, and you shouldn't either, especially now during hard times. Right? I don't think the worst is over. Or maybe not the worst, right? Maybe the worst is over, but I think that there's going to be more things to happen in the cryptocurrency market. I'm excited for a great buying opportunity. But be careful out there. Be careful out there. Like the only stable coin I trust right now, this is kind of twisted, right? Is USDC because of their backers, right? Big institutional backers, right? I trust them, Yeah, I'm like, hey, man, maybe it's a little more quote unquote centralized than everything else. I mean, they're all stable coins backed by assets. They're not algorithmic stable coins, right? Which is a plus, but still, man, you gotta be careful, right? Biz says, just be careful, everyone. Storage wallet, cold storage until the storm blows over. Yeah, guys, it's still dangerous out there, man. Be careful. Be careful. It's still dangerous out there. You gotta be very, very careful. What happened with Ponzi and War Pigs token? Dude, I have no clue. I don't even know. Thank you so much, Javi. 76 likes. Let's go smash that like button, baby. Let's get to 100 likes. Let's go, baby. I mean, what do you guys think about exchanges? Let me know. Do you trust exchanges? I'm gonna put a poll up. Let me know. I'm gonna put a poll up. Do you guys trust exchanges? Let me see. Can I not do that? And poll. So it looks like what I said. Do you guys think this is the first time Dana White hit his wife? 80% of you said no. So let's see. Start a poll. Do you trust Centralized exchanges. Let me know. I want to see what you guys think out there. Let me know. It's not that I don't think. I think CZ's a great person. I do think a lot of people have good intentions, guys. But sometimes it doesn't matter. Do you think like all these projects that that went under, these CEOs wanted them to go under? No, of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Ponzi Slayer and War Pigs. Yeah, I don't know. Hitoshi says, what are your thoughts on me selling my Shiboshis and getting a few of those crypto zoo eggs? Hitoshi, that's a real degenerate play. First of all, Shiboshis, I have a very not happy time thinking about my history with Shiboshis. But I see what you're doing there. I get it. Crypto zoo, look, it's probably going to pump because it's just a top story, right? This is how cryptocurrency is, right? Like literally, Crypto Zoo is on everybody's radar because CoffeeZilla pointed out the fact that it's a product that was started by Logan Paul, who never finished their roadmap and wrecked a lot of investors. And now people are going to buy it, right? Because they're degenerates. So, Edgar says, I only trust. What's up, Edgar? How you doing, baby? Ben says, I don't even trust my own mama. Right. Tim C says only only as much as you have to. It's like any other bank. Do you trust the bank to hold your stocks or RSP? You have to. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you kind of have to, right? But at least actual cash is backed, right? Chris, yeah, I haven't. So the thing about the Logan Paul CoffeeZilla situation is very interesting, right? Because now Logan Paul put out that cheesy ass thing saying, "Oh, this little kid wrote this letter to me on the airplane." Right, or some crazy shit like that. Watch. Logan Paul. Where was it? Like, oh, this note from the passenger next to me. I needed this right now. Thank you. And it's like, dude, motherfucker, you don't get to put out a sad story like this, right? Just because CoffeeZilla's on that ass. Right? Now he's pretending to be CoffeeZilla and stuff like that. It's like, dude, come on. Come on. So I guess he's supposed to put out a video, people were saying, and he wants CoffeeZilla on the podcast, but CoffeeZilla doesn't want to go on his podcast because CoffeeZilla invited him. So exactly. Brokerage accounts are regulated. Crypto exchanges aren't and are in Dubai where you have no recourse. Exactly. Dono says, yes, I do trust exchanges. I hold my Doge on RH 3 years now. What's RH? Robinhood says holding 90% of my other coins in Coinbase and and holding my Volt and MMAI in Coinbase wallet. So yes, I trust them. So Coinbase wallet is fine. DeFi wallets are fine because if for some reason they go down, you can still import your seed phrases to another DeFi wallet, right? So they're always fine. Like even Binance said, like, hey, if you don't trust using Binance Exchange, use Trust Wallet because Binance does own them, right? Just like Coinbase Wallet. First of all, Coinbase Wallet is fantastic. It's a fantastic product. What's up, Wilson? How you doing? Meat Canyon? I don't know what Meat Canyon. Meat Canyon. Why is his name Meat Canyon? Timsy says cryptocurrency is the closest thing to a barter system. It's what we need to actually really. It's what we need to really be in total control of your money. Yeah, well, people like cryptocurrency, and the reason why people, first of all, I think there's two different reasons why I think people are drawn to cryptocurrency. One, it's because it's a degenerate gambling space, and it's a lot of people. It's a few different reasons, right? It's degeneracy. We'll say one is degeneracy. On one side, you have people who maybe started other companies off of the blockchain. It didn't work out, and now they see, right, businessmen and con men alike, right? They see this as a perfect way to make money they probably could have never made anywhere else. Like we've seen many examples of people with criminal backgrounds getting into crypto, probably because it's a little easy to stay anonymous, you know what I mean? Until people find out who you are. Okay. So that's kind of a big deal, right? It's kind of a big deal. The other part of it is that people like to gamble. And a lot of people made money gambling on meme coin. Look, they're a gamble. We know they're a gamble, right? Like Crypto Zoo. How many people got into Crypto Zoo because they really thought Logan Paul was going to change their life? or we're here because of the technology. Like a lot of people are saying they bought their kids crypto zoo pets, and yeah, it's like okay, okay. Or how many people invested massive amount of money, rent money, into crypto zoo because they wanted to make a quick buck and get the hell out of there, right? Be the lesser of the greater fools. I don't know. And the other side, right? The other part to cryptocurrency is anonymity and a complete, pretty much complete freedom from the government. Right? There's no intermediary. It's anonymous. You can do whatever you want. It's your money, power to the people, right? Whereas, debit transactions, credit transactions, all that is tracked. Even some money is marked. So even cash is it can be a little shady sometimes. Not really, but you know what I mean, right? That's why there's CBDCs. Yeah, Robinhood is a brokerage. So Robinhood's a little different. They offer crypto. It's like Webull. Webull also offers. Webull also offers cryptocurrency. So it's a little different than a cryptocurrency exchange, right? Toshi says neither of them are going to jail. Are going to neither of them are going on either one of the yeah, so they're not going to go on each other's shows because they both want to control the narrative. But CoffeeZilla asked Logan Paul first, right? So he actually reached out to Logan Paul for comment on these situations, and Logan Paul's manager was just pretty much giving him veiled threats for some sort of lawsuit. Timsy says in Canada, centralized exchanges have to have insurance just like any bank or institution. Now, I wonder about that, Tim, because that whole Quadriga exchange, right, in 2019, right? Remember that Quadriga crypto exchange? It went down in 2019, and a lot of people, a lot of money. Yeah, with 250 million point seven in liabilities and about $28 million in assets. So, 180 so million dollars just poof. So I don't think any of these customers got their money back, right? So maybe that happened after this, right? Because this was a huge deal when it comes to exchanges in Canada, right? And this is what I'm talking about being anonymous. Like the guy, the co-founder of this project, what's his name? Right here, Michael Panton, whose real name is Omar Danani. After the downfall of this, right? People would have never hired this guy. Who would have hired this guy? He's a chief financial officer of Time Wonderland because he was anonymous in crypto. So it's for conmen, but this happened in Canada. So I don't know about that one. Union Crypto says you have to trust them, but there are other alternatives. Not to you can use a cold storage. Otherwise, educate yourself. Well, exchanges are okay. And look, I don't mind keeping some money on there, but don't keep all your money on there, right? Because you just never know. I don't want you guys to get wrecked, bro. Biz says, how much was lost in Zoo? Why doesn't Logan Paul take a fraction of his cash and make investors whole? Too complicated? Is he too greedy? Is he a fuckface? Thoughts? Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, Biz. I'm like, well, why doesn't he just take a massive amount of money and pay everybody back who got wrecked? Because they don't want to fork over that money. Here's the thing. People invested into the project, right? They did. And remember when they launched it, they wanted to do a stealth launch like a month before they were going to announce anything. So their friends and family, right? Friends of the project. You saw their group chat. Could get in before anybody else. That was the issue. And then what happened was, I think that the Crypto King, right, one of the guys, apparently made $6 million in this situation. Apparently, he may have schemed behind their back and got into it because there was an abnormal amount of volume in it when it launched. So Logan Paul's like, what the hell? This is supposed to be a secret stealth launch. How did people know about it? So I think he's just cheap. I think that I don't understand why you have to make a cryptocurrency project like this if you're Logan Paul. And what's crazy is that he's making another one and then another NFT project. It's like, okay. Yeah, dude. Did you guys see that issue with the football player? Did you guys see that? That was crazy. You guys see that? Did you guys see that? The football player, it has nothing to do with crypto, but that's nuts. It was a Buffalo Bills football player. So apparently what happened is he had a cardiac arrest in the field. One of the YouTube doctors explained it perfectly. I actually want to show you guys this. This is crazy. It's super, super sad. It's super sad. Super sad. Like he just passed out. Damn. So sad. Did you guys see that? But this guy, I'm trying to find his damn video. But this guy was watching. Let me go to my history. This guy was watching last night. Pretty much explained the whole situation, and it makes sense, right? It makes perfect sense what happened to him. You gotta feel bad for this guy. He just fucking collapsed in the field. So sad. So sad. So sad. You don't like to see any of that. You know, you don't like to see any of that football players have. Man, football is so dangerous. I wonder, guy, what do you guys think in the future? Like, what happens with football? Because we know that a lot of people are getting CTE from it. We've seen like whatever his name is, Aloa, like whatever the hell, the Dolphins quarterback, like collapsed because of a head injury. Like, it's getting dangerous, guys. He's running, especially like running backs. You see how hard they get hit? Like, even the plays that don't even look crazy, like on camera, if you look close, they're getting cracked. It's like a mini car accident every single time. Like, we can't blame it on a lack of science or awareness. We know how dangerous this is, right? We know how, I'm trying to find this video, guys, but we know how dangerous football is. Do we keep the sport? I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, can you get rid of football? I don't think you can, right? I don't think you can get rid of football, right? I don't think you can. I can't find that video. I don't know where it's at. See, Doctor explains it like, oh, here it is.
What we just witnessed
So let's check it out. This is crazy.
tonight is one of the most rare things we can see in sports.
And he called it before we had any official diagnosis. He told us exactly what happened last night. So this is what happened.
What we just witnessed tonight is one of the most rare things we can see in sports medicine, as Damar Hamlin went down with what appeared to be cardiac arrest after taking this hit on the field. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Suter, and on this channel, I try to teach you about the sports medicine world and give you some insight into what we see on the field. What we saw happen tonight is not related to any sort of vaccines. This is almost certainly something called commotio cordis, an extremely rare condition that's one of those things that we typically only think we're going to read about in textbooks. Essentially, what can happen is if you have a blunt trauma to the chest that occurs at exactly the right time in the cardiac electrical cycle, your heart can be sent into cardiac arrest. As Hamlin comes in here, we can see this square hit to the front of his chest. We see him get back up momentarily before ultimately collapsing back down to the ground and requiring CPR on the field. This is a tracing of our heart's electrical activity. Basically, this is one cycle of the heart squeezing. Starts off with this P wave, which is the electrical activity of the atrium at the top of the heart squeezing, then the QRS complex, which is going to be the ventricles acting. But then the last phase is this T wave, where the ventricle basically depolarizes and kind of resets to get ready for the next cycle. For commotio cordis to happen, you have to suffer this blunt trauma to the chest at exactly the right moment, specifically on this upstroke of the T wave, in order for the heart to then be sent into this arrhythmia and subsequent cardiac arrest. This is one of those things that not only do you have to have a high enough force, but it has to happen within milliseconds of a time window, because if that impact comes at any other time in this electrical cycle, you're fine. You don't go into this. But when it happens at just this right time during this upstroke
Crazy
T wave,
freak
and if it's
accident
high enough, then you can have this thing called commotio cordis. We typically think of it happening in baseball players whenever they get hit in the middle of the chest with a hard thrown ball, but unfortunately that looks like what is most likely to have happened here with Hamlin. Treatment like this is obviously CPR and defibrillation as quickly as possible, because this can absolutely be a life-threatening thing. Again, this is not something that people should go speculate about vaccines or anything like that causing this cardiac arrest. There was a clear contact, a clear trauma, and I think a clear reason why, unfortunately, this happened for Hamlin. My thoughts and prayers go out to the player, go out to his family, everybody else there on the field, the medical staff taking care of him. This is an extremely serious thing. One of those conditions that, like I said, you hope, you pray, you never actually see as a medical provider. But hopefully this was educational. Let me know, as always, any questions or comments down below. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.
Yeah, so a lot of people are blaming like vaccines, which I think is fucking crazy to make this political. Like I'm on Twitter. Look, I'm on YouTube. Look, I don't think that we did the right thing when it came to vaccines. It's my opinion. I think we rolled something out. We gave it to everybody, and it's like some of the time. I mean, I got it. A lot of people got it, and still got C-19 a bunch. You know, I'm not denying it or anything like that, but I don't think we did the right job by rolling it all out, forcing everyone to get it, firing people for not getting it. I think we handled it the wrong way, and I think we understand that. But to sit here and blame vaccines for this, it's ridiculous to me. This is like, come on now. Obviously, we saw what happened in this situation, right? And it's a freak accident. But with that being said, how safe can you make like fighting or football or boxing? You can't, because it's trauma. It doesn't matter how big the pads are, doesn't matter the rules, because the NFL, and they've been criticized for this, is way less violent than it used to be. Go watch football games from like the 90s or the 80s. It is crazy some of the things they do to some of the other football players. It's nuts. They take these guys' head off. Like the quarterbacks will get destroyed. Now you can barely touch the quarterback without getting a penalty, right? It's absolutely insane, right? It's crazy. This whole situation's nuts, and it's like, well, can you ever make it safe? Like, what can you do to the NFL to make it safe? What can you do? What can you do to make the NFL safer? It's like not hit each other. Like it's football. That's the way you want to hit people, right? Or, I mean, he obviously got hit on the chest, but you don't want any helmet or anything like that. So it was like bad timing. So he's in critical condition right now, and I pray that he survives. So prayers and thoughts go out to his family. You know what I mean? Because it's a tough time for them to see that happen. But DJ says, I know this wasn't a malicious hit. Let me go back to that. DJ says, I know this wasn't a malicious hit or anything, but there's too many scenarios where a player gets taken out by some hothead, and those people should simply not be allowed to play anymore. It's just football. It's aggressive. They're supposed to hit each other. Like even some of the helmet to helmets, you can tell the player wasn't trying to do that. Like, for example, the quarterback has a big responsibility for his player not to take any unnecessary hits. And the way football quarterbacks do that is like when a receiver is doing like a slant or something like right up the middle of the field, like you don't want to throw the ball high where the receiver has to jump and catch it, because he's going to get taken the hell out by another player. So you got to throw it low, right? Low, so we can get down and grab it and those sorts of things. So there are ways that they try to make it safer, but how can you when the essence of the sport is just violence? It's hitting. You want to hit people. There's a way to do it, but even then we saw a hit that looked okay. Messed up, right? And Awesome says, I watched this dude on TikTok last night. Dude is spot on. Yeah, this guy's, if you guys know who he is, he's a sports doctor, and every time there's some sort of major injury in basketball, or like when someone like a player tears something, or he talks about what happens, and he's spot on. So he actually came out with that video before anybody else thought it was this. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, Biz says back when there was no targeting and everyone led with the crown of their helmet, brutal. Exactly. I'm not going to blame this on vaccines. That's kind of crazy to blame it on vaccines. F Joe. Do you guys read the video on Dana White's? Go read the TMZ comments. I'm not going to read them here but go read the TMZ comments on the Dana White situation. It's terrible. It's funny, but it's terrible. It's the humor, right? Dark humor. Yeah, if it takes away hits, it isn't football anymore. Flag football. yeah. Look, that's the struggle. Dude, football is lucrative. Football is popular. It's a great American sport. It's big here in the United States, right? Football is huge. You can't take away hitting like that, right? No one's gonna watch it. It's like, can you get rid of football? No, you can't. It seems like you can't. You can't make football safe without playing it. It's inherently dangerous. You're running full speed at guys, getting in mini car crashes every time. We see what CTE does to people. Same thing with boxers, right? Even some UFC fighters. F. Joe says, why did nobody beat Dana's ass? For real? I mean, if you're Dana White, you're surrounded by a bunch of yes men who are relying on you for probably a paycheck, bodyguards and stuff like that. And look like I said, Dana White's saying this is the first time something like this has happened. I mean, what are the chances of this being the first time this has happened after being married for 30 years and we just happen to see it on camera? What are the chances of that? I can't imagine the chances of that are very high. Can you imagine? What are the chances on that? What are the chances? I can't see it. Ozm says he got a hard pass on the slap. The argument is, and Ozm's right, but the argument is like, don't hit anybody unless you expect to get hit back. And my question to you is, would you hit your wife or girlfriend if they hit you? I've been in that scenario. I wouldn't hit her, because I understand that me is like hit her, getting hit by 5 of her. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's not fair. But some people, when you hit them, they have a knee-jerk reaction back. You might get bopped. You might get bopped. It might get bopped. You know? Interesting. It's interesting, right? Because she hit him first. Now, I remember I watched a video in a bar where some lady slaps the shit out of some dude. He's like a big dude, too. She's like a small little chick, and she slaps him, and he smokes her. Like, she's just knocked. She's KO'd. You know? Crazy. Who recording him hitting his wife? It looks like it was on some sort of Jumbotron, right? It's like, where was that at? You know? Hi, Toshi. I've seen that too. I think he's really trying to promote his slap league. So if you guys don't know, UFC, you know that little slap league thing where people slap each other and they get rocked? He's promoting that now. So, I mean, that's a funny joke, but I don't think so. Ellis says that's why pro football players make the big bucks. True. I mean, their health is really put at risk. You see a lot of these guys never the same. Like one example is Antonio Brown. Of course, he was the wide receiver for, I think, the Raiders and then the Steelers. And most recently, well, I think it was with the Dolphins he was with the Patriots, obviously. And then he went to the Buccaneers with Tom Brady. And he had this, I mean, he just sounds like he's in some shit. He had those accusations of like, maybe sexually assaulting. Oh shit, my video's gonna get demonetized for me saying that. But one of his, I think his masseuses or something like that, and then like he flipped out on the field one day, he took his shirt off and like started like cheering on the. It was crazy. It was just messed up. Then he got this altercation where he hit the moving guy. Like it was just crazy. So, I mean, is that because Antonio Brown is just nuts, or is that because of CTE? But he did take that one hit. It's crazy. Chrissy says, don't put your hands on anyone, whether woman or man. You have the right to defend yourselves. That's true. That's true. Hey, man, if you hit somebody, you can expect to get hit back. What the crazy thing about Dana White is that, okay, it's different if that's the way you live your life. But he's come out, and now he's even come out and say there's no excuse for it. It was wrong. I blacked out. I was drunk, yada, 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 yada. You know, same old story that everyone says. I don't remember. I was really drunk, you know, those sorts of things. It's the first time it happened. We had to show our kids the video. It's just like, ugh. I thought you said he got jumped by 2 chicks in high school. I mean, hey, sometimes, man, hey, if a person is hitting you and they won't go away and you're trying to get out of there, right, then you have the right to defend yourself. Rob says, Chris Rock said it best, I won't hit my girl, but I will shake her. Will Smith started a trend, I guess. That was crazy, right? Ozum says, if it's physical then, but it's been physical before, but hell no, I wouldn't slap back. No point of doing that. Yeah. That's why you stop. You know, and you say, hey, you know what? You know, because look at, I mean, what was her name? Hope Solo, the goalie for the men's, women's U.S. soccer team. Didn't she get in trouble for like hitting her man too? And that's a big woman. Brad says, if she slapped him and he did nothing and it caught on camera, then everyone would laugh at him. He hits back, bam, domestic violence. Not sure. No, it's domestic violence when she hits him. Right. She hits him. Now, obviously, our society is kind of weird, right? Because on one hand, it's like equal rights for everything. You know, like Bill Burr made a funny skit that I think it really resonates with me. It's right. It's like he's like, okay, we have a wage gap in this country. Fine, he says. But like the movie Titanic, if you want to get equal pay and stuff like that, if you want true equality, right, then when the Titanic is sinking and the lifeboats come out and they're putting women and children first, it shouldn't be that way, right? It should be, you know, but okay, for example, right? If you're walking with your girl, right? And someone gets an altercation and he pushes your girl, what are you going to do? You're going to fight, right? Because you're the man, right? If you're sleeping with your wife at night and there's some sort of bump in the night, you hear something, who's going to get it and check it? Who's going to go out and check it out? You're going to make your wife go do it? Nah, you're going to do it. Why? Because you're the man. Now, I know people say that, oh, equal rights and stuff like that, but it's like, no, we can't have it one way. We can't have it another. You know what I mean? That's the argument, right? So I do get it when people said, I wouldn't hit a woman back, but I get why people say they would do that. It's like, if you hit me first, you're going to get hit back. But obviously in our society, that's frowned upon. Dude, so, I mean, Hitoshi, I mean, I've seen some women who are big girls, right? Big girls. I mean, there's plenty of videos online of like big women beating up small men. You see it all the time. I mean, obviously that wasn't the case with Dana White. Dana White we know he's taking TRT, right? He's in phenomenal shape. You know, he actually looks pretty decent. He looks like a thumb, but, you know, he actually looks decent with the shirt off, right? We've seen him. He works out and stuff like that. He's a strong guy, Right? He used to box and stuff. He's a strong guy. Dana Dondo says numerous amounts of athletes got arrested for doing the same thing as White did. So why isn't he in cuffs? I wonder why. I mean, interesting, right? So if most noticeably, most notable was the Ray Rice situation with the Baltimore Ravens, right? So if you guys didn't know, Baltimore, I think it was he was a running back, and allegedly it came out that he struck his wife, and the video was old, right? And the NFL didn't cut him right away because it was his hearsay. When the video came out, it looked bad. Now his wife, like they're in an elevator, she rushes him and he puts her to sleep, right? I mean, Dave Chappelle made a funny skit about this, and he pretty much said, like, why would you run after a guy who stiff arms people, explosive running back who stiff arms people for a reason, right? And he dragged her out of the out of the elevator. And that's brutal, right? When you see that on video, that was brutal, right? And it's all about perception and those sorts of things. Now, I don't think she hit him first in that scenario. I don't know. But maybe other people would have been arrested. Now, technically, depending on where they're at, they should both be arrested. I know in California, if there's a domestic violence call, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what happened. If you put your hands on somebody else, you're going to jail. No one has to press charges. Doesn't matter the situation. So in this situation, they both should have been arrested. But for her, right, for starting it and him for continuing to fight, right? Now, obviously, you could say he was defending himself, but think about a jury and a judge. Do you think Dana White is in any danger from his wife? Really? Is that the same? It's not the same. Let's be real now. Okay, it's not the same. I get where you're coming from, but it's not the same. Dana White was in this, did she have a gun or a knife? No, she just slapped him in the face and he just bopped her and hit her some more. All right, so yeah, she's gonna stay with him. Of course, she's gonna stay with him. I mean, that chick with Ray Rice stayed with him. It's rich. Like, got married after that situation. Got married after that situation. 7 more likes. Do me a favor. Slap that 7 more likes to get 100 likes. Let's go, baby. Same as hostages. Who gets out first? Women. It's a double standard. Yeah, it's a big double standard in our society. It's like, where does the equality start and end? What kind of equality do we want? I really think, guys, it's a loud minority that says all these things, right? That says all these things. Because I know a lot of women in my life who don't want equal rights. Like they don't want the same equal rights that a lot of people think they do. Like they like men who hold open the door, right? They like men who pay for the entire dinner, right? Or the husband handles most of the bills, and it's a different percentage. It's not always 50-50 equal down the road. Not everyone likes that lifestyle, right? So keep in mind. Rumble, what's Rumble? Oh, a different media website? I should. This is Russ like a cut right Dana now? Nah, you can't compare Russ to Dana, bro. Brad says, I would never hit a girl back, but so many times women do it and they aren't held accountable. If anything, that dude is mocked. Seen it many times. It's done. Yeah, it's sad. It is sad. In our society, people do, oh, you're going to call the cops on a woman? And the guys will do the same thing. They'll mock men for that, Society's fucked up. We're like in this weird stage where we don't want to know. We don't know what's going on, right? Now, where does it start and end with equal rights? All things fair, she should have went to jail, right? She slapped him first. He hit her back, Now it's different, right? It's different in this situation. Like, for example, if someone punches you and then runs away and you shoot them in the back, you're in trouble. That's not self-defense because they're trying to get away, Chrissy says, please arrest whoever is less fucked up. Yeah, true. Sometimes, unless you both admit to hitting each other, right? Or who hit somebody first, who was trying to get away. But this is on video. Totally different, right? Yeah, she got him pretty good, but he looked like he was like pushing her down and holding her down after that, right? Hitoshi said, it does depend where you grow up. I know some women who will just blatantly slap a guy. I've seen so many videos of women just hitting guys and them getting wrecked because of it, right? It's like, first rule of life, don't put your hands on anybody, right? I just don't like that Dana White's coming out acting like a white knight. Like, it should never happen. I'm being held accountable. It's like, dude, you've called out UFC fighters publicly for that shit. It's crazy. Oh, post on Rumble, get more views live. YouTube's fine. I mean, it's kind of a bear. 150 viewers concurrent's not bad for this market right now, especially for our channel and whatnot. Hi, Trish says, somebody punches me, I'm shooting them before they can run away. Selma, what are the Dave Chappelle? Slap! F just says, I went to my favorite tool store last week, asked for the manager, was told he no longer works there, asked why. Worker said YouTube his name, pulled up a video of him beating his wife on. Oh my God. Yeah, you can really ruin your life when you do something like that. There's some things that you just get like publicly shamed for. Hey, we're at 100 likes. Let's go, baby. With that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So be expecting more partnerships from your boy. I'm taking a few partnerships this month. Get the ball rolling for me buying the dip. So I will announce this a little later on Twitter. Do me a favor, slap that like button on the way out. Let's see. When you can hit my dad's lawyer, he will sue you, bro. When you get hit, just yell, my dad's a lawyer, he will sue you, bro. I appreciate you guys. Thank you a lot for hanging out with me. Happy New Year. Regularly scheduled degeneracy will continue as normal. I just had to take the day off yesterday, guys. I need a little decompress. And I'm going to start doing reels. So I'm going to do like the same. So what I'm going to do is combine all the news I did in coffee and crypto in reels for you guys. So like a 1-minute reel. And just in case you want to watch something on speed, I'm working on it to see if I should do this kind of production or I should do just my phone. Either or gets the point across, but like a crypto minute, you can call it, or something like that. And I'm trying to look for different ways to really make the channel better. I'm thinking I should get new thumbnails. Now, I should probably do like my own thumbnails I make for news because it's always changing. But I should have some typical standard, like nice thumbnail for like different breaking stories or those sorts of things. Henoch is now a sports reporter. I didn't know that. Dana White, slap that like button like Dana White is slapping significant others, which is so bad, but do it. All right. All right, little weirdos. Have a good one. I appreciate y'all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yes, we're having a double giveaway next month. Or excuse me, next week on Monday. We're picking 2 winners. So, all right, y'all have a good one. Bye-bye now.